Hey everyone, welcome to the very first episode of The Bros Knows. And I'm Ben.
I'm Jared.
And yes, we are brothers. As much as we regret it.
Tis why it's called Bros Knows.
Yes, and as much as we regret it. No, I'm kidding. Love my brother. But I guess we wanted just to talk a little bit about what this podcast is. Like, what are you listening to? And that's very simple. It's basically whatever we think is entertaining to talk about. Maybe something we see online. Mm-hmm. Maybe something that we've watched in sports. I don't know. But I guess a little background for both of us. I recently graduated from a university called Cedarville, which is in the middle of nowhere in Ohio. And Jared, you are
I'm a sophomore at Cedarville, yeah. And
we both love sports, grew up around sports. Our father, who really wants to be on this podcast, but we doubt that.
Oh, yeah.
He loves sports. He kind of put those into us. We both love living out our Christian faith, but we love to have fun.
We both love video games.
Yes, we both love video games. We love to have fun, though.
Yep.
And so that's what that's what this podcast is really going to be about, is just having fun, hopefully brighten your day. Bring a little joy into your life. Maybe. I don't really know. But I guess we're going to get started, Jared. It's 2020.
It is, yes.
Right?
Yep.
New decade.
Roaring 20s,
yes,
as the kids say these days.
I don't know if they still say that, but, it is what it is. But it's the new decade, 2020. And, there's this thing that always happens every New Year's that drives me up a wall, and it's called resolutions.
New Year's resolutions, yes.
Jared, we've talked about this a few times, how much I cannot stand resolutions.
Yeah.
Never have, never will. That's my opinion. But Jared, I want you to, just share a little bit. What are some things that, like, for you, when you think of resolutions, like, I don't know, I guess just share your opinion. Why not?
Yeah. So New Year's resolutions, people don't know how to do them. Not all. Most people don't know how to do them. They list a resolution, quote unquote, that they're going to do, and they keep it for about 2 weeks, and then they're done with it. And that's not what a New Year's resolution is at all. A resolution is something that you want to do for the whole year and keep doing to get better, make yourself better. I don't know, something like that. That's what I think it should be. Yeah,
and I'm not, okay, I don't want everyone out there listening to this thinks that Ben is against resolutions. I'm not necessarily.
He is.
But I will say, my friend, before we're recording this, I had dinner with a friend, Jordan, who's great fella.
Yes.
One of my best friends, and he pointed out something. He said, resolutions, if you think about it, and you read the definition online, it talks about how it's something you're wanting to try to achieve, or you want, or do not want to achieve. And I was thinking about that. Like, that's so true. And I guess it's a lot like goals, because for me, I just like goals. I don't like the idea of resolutions. I think part of it is the way our culture has kind of, I guess, maybe in a sense, tainted it, because they just talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Personally, I just like the idea of goals. That's kind of like my thing. But I didn't know what you thought about, what goals do you have for this year? I guess when it comes to that sense of the nature of the beast, I guess.
Yeah. Well, hit the gym. Hit the gym.
This is coming from two boys that are so skinny.
Hit them, pump that iron. Get jacked. I will shredded.
Okay, I will say this though: being skinny is pros and cons to being skinny. I'm telling you, there's too many times where I think I enjoy being skinny. And that's sad. But then I also realize that I would like to have, a little more buffness to me.
Yeah.
But no, so your goal is to be better in shape, right? Is that what you're thinking?
Yes. Yeah.
Because
along that line.
That reminds me, and Jared knows exactly where I'm going with this. What was it? A couple weeks ago, a week or so ago, I was playing an alumni basketball game at our high school. Loved it. But I learned a couple things about myself. One, I am extremely out of shape. Like like badly out of shape.
Yeah.
And it's funny
Most
because
definitely.
you think, and like, I don't know, you could probably test this too. Like when you leave high school, your body just decides to just stop.
Yeah.
Like there's no like, hey, this is great. Your body's loving you. No, it's like, no, I'm done. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I lifted weights in high school, and now I don't.
Yeah, so I will say that after playing, I can still ball, though. I just want to point that out to everyone.
Yeah.
Still ball with the best of them. But when it came to Saturday morning, and Jared saw me Saturday morning, I was limping around like a very elderly man.
It was funny.
It was funny because...
It was funny.
I legit got out of bed going, this is like a very stupid thing. I should start listening to my body more. But I didn't.
Yeah, listen to it crackle, you know.
Yeah, it does crack. Jared could probably just share what my body's like. It sounds terrible, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like them crackle candies that you pop in your mouth.
Crackle candies?
Yeah, those pop things that you pop in your mouth and like pop in your mouth.
What pop things?
Yeah, you put the candy in your mouth and they like pop.
Oh, you mean like the?
I don't remember what they're called.
The nerd? No, not nerds.
Nerds. I don't know what they're called, but
nerds
you put them
pop in your mouth.
You put them in your mouth and they like pop and it's like crackles.
I think it's nerds. I think it's nerds.
I don't think it's.
I'm pretty sure it's nerds. So if anybody knows the answer to that, it's nerds.
I don't think it's nerds.
Anyways, yes, my body does. I think that just comes with age, though. You know,
it's like eating a Rice Crispie treat and just hear that crunch. That's what it sounds like.
Wow, I feel offended. Honestly, I just was compared to a Rice Crispie treat. That's
Rice Crispie treats are good, so.
Yeah, but I don't want to be compared to a Rice Krispie treat.
But they're good.
No, they're not. I can 100% those are not. Those are. Is that your? That cannot be your go-to snack. Rice Krispie
dessert.
Treat.
I guess you
consider that a dessert. How do you consider that a dessert?
It's got chocolate on it sometimes.
Normal Rice Krispie treat doesn't have chocolate.
I don't eat Rice Krispie treats before I eat a dinner. I eat them after I eat dinner. So it's a dessert.
But you can have them as a snack, though.
Yeah, and a dessert.
But then, what do you consider? Do you consider cookies a snack?
Yeah,
and a
I
dessert.
eat cookies for a snack and a dessert. Oreos, that's a dessert. Chocolate chip cookie, that's a dessert.
Rice Krispie is not. I'm not going to like go to the cupboard and go, oh, that's what I want to have for dessert. No one wants a Rice Krispie for dessert.
Is ice cream dessert?
Yes.
Then Rice Krispie is a dessert.
Then how's that comparable?
They both have milk.
What in Rice Krispie? It's Rice Krispie. Yeah. It's rice.
Yeah.
Not milk.
They put milk in it to get it.
I don't think it's milk.
I'm pretty sure there's milk in Rice Krispie.
That means you're eating rotten milk.
Not rotten milk. Because it's in a package.
Yeah, because that. What? So, let me get this straight. You consider Rice Krispies a snack and a dessert.
Yeah. Ice cream is a snack and a dessert.
Like, I get ice cream, though, because it makes sense as a dessert. But Rice Krispies is not a dessert.
It's definitely dessert.
Oh.
It can definitely be a dessert.
I think the only way it can be a dessert is if you put chocolate on it.
Are dessert.
But like, it doesn't come normally with chocolate. Like, I get if it had chocolate.
There's a whole package.
You go to the store,
chocolate,
and but it started as just a Rice Krispie.
Yeah, and then they added
Do you consider
chocolate.
rice cakes as a dessert?
Rice cakes, those are chips.
Rice cakes are not chips. They're
like crackers.
Oh my.
Yeah, those little rice cake
I need to educate you on what snacks are.
Those are like crackers.
What desserts and snacks are. I need to educate you.
Rice cakes are like crackers.
Oh my.
Not even close to dessert.
Oh my.
Not even close to a Rice Krispie.
Anyways.
It's called a Rice Krispie treat. You treat yourself after your dinner.
Oh my.
Tis.
You didn't just drop that. Did you just drop that? Yeah. You just,
boom.
Roast. This is what I deal with, everyone, on a daily basis.
LOL.
This is... It's going off the rails already. First episode, this is what's happening. But I will say, where were we even at? We were talking about body. I don't know how we were talking about my body. I don't. That's
your body
weird.
Sounds like a Rice Krispie
That's weird.
treat.
I don't know where we went with that.
That's more funny when I say it the second time.
I will say this though. I think we all have goals. I guess my goal for this year is to, because I am going to become a missionary. I think is just to be. I don't know. I think doing what is in store for me and working hard at it, which is also really good. And I think also just being in better shape. I think we all can say that in some sense. But moving on, not really moving on, because it happened near, it happened near New Year's Eve. Jared,
what?
We were sitting there on a Saturday, watching a game that we love. And just so you all know, we are huge Ohio State huge Ohio State fans. Yep. And that's just like, that's always been our team. And Jared, it was a fumble.
It was a fumble.
It was a fumble. And if you don't know the play we're talking about, it was when Jeff Okudah.
And it wasn't targeting.
Yes, and well, there's a lot of things that could have went the other way. But it was when Jeff Okudah stripped the ball out of the receiver of Clemson's hands, and Fuller scooped it up and then ran into the end zone, which then was turned around and said that it was an incomplete pass. There's a lot of, I guess, things we could say about the game. It's funny because for 4 years I did a sports show on Resound Radio. Plug in Resound Radio. You can see them at resoundradio.com. It's our university radio station. Yes. I was a co-host of the show Full Court Press. My brother was a co-host for a year while I finished up my degree. So with that being said, a little backstory, but I will say this, though. It was a great game. Don't get me wrong. I think both teams played really well. Both teams, I guess, turned out. I mean, it was a good game.
Either team deserved it.
Either team deserved it, and I'm not saying that it was, a terrible game, because I think it's a game for the ages.
Yeah.
But I think as a Ohio State fan, you're kind of frustrated because of the turnout. You can go ahead and throw your opinion. I'm just blabbering on. But
yeah. Ohio State played Clemson. If you didn't know who they played Clemson and the refs. So that was neat. Did not expect to play two opponents in one game.
And I know a lot.
That's the first time.
And I know a lot of people
NCAA,
are going to hate us for saying that. You realize we're about to get a lot of hate right now.
That means they're either meat chicken fans or they just hate Ohio State.
I will
block out the haters.
I will admit though, and I've been a Ohio State fan my whole life, always will be. I will admit, we're very annoying. We just are as fans. We've always been annoying.
We don't make up excuses. Michigan.
No, okay. I will say that. I mean, there are some Ohio State fans that will make excuses.
Well,
and we all know those.
They're not true Ohio State fans.
But I will say this, and I will say it from a coach perspective. Coaching football this last year, there were some play calls that were just stupid. You don't need to block a punt. Don't go block punt. You have 3 possessions inside the 10-yard line, and you go for a field goal each time. And most of the time, you'd be like, "Oh, that's 3 points." But in a game like that, you can't physically just keep going for field goals.
16-0 could have been 21-0.
That's very true. But with that being said, I think we both can agree that being an Ohio State fan, it's these moments, and then to go on top of that, Ohio State basketball's also been struggling lately.
Yeah,
last two games, and it's just feels like every time that we do something, it's great, And so I don't know. This is just from 2 brothers that are Ohio State fans that we're still holding on. I know a lot of you that maybe aren't sports fans, probably you're crazy for holding on to it, but I don't know. That's just me.
I think after this show, they will become sports fans.
I don't know. I don't know if after this show they become sports fans. They might just be intolerable.
They will love Ohio State and watch.
I mean,
sports.
they should. They should be. I mean, they should love Ohio State. But that is besides the point. But I will say this: I saw something that was very interesting, Jared. I don't know if it was on Instagram or Facebook or something, but I saw this post about, NFL officials. Or it was college official, basically the head of officiating from both sides, and even analysis guys are on Fox and ESPN were even saying that, seriously, it was it was a couple calls that could have went either way, and I'm we're being honest here, it sucks as a Ohio State fan for it to go the other way, and I think it's the same way if it went the other way, but it's the idea of. I don't know. You just got to be fair. And I'm not saying the officials, they're doing a really hard job. I've officiated some basketball games before. It's a hard job. But it's the idea of when is replay too much? I'm just going to be honest with you. I want your opinion on this because replay seems to be taking over. If you call it one way, you can't just... Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to get overheated if I'm on this.
Yeah, I mean, I like replay. I think they should have some replay because there are some things that you should definitely challenge. But like you said, the fumble, I mean, there had to be indisputable evidence to overturn it, and there wasn't. And they overturned it, and it's like, how did they do that? Well, I think it's because it's the SEC, and the SEC does not like Ohio State. But besides the point, some plays just don't need to be challenged.
Yeah, and I just thought...
Like, you can now challenge, like, I think it's like defensive pass interference or something. Like, you don't need to challenge a penalty. It's dumb.
Yeah, and it's funny because I just looked up...
They know what they're calling.
I looked up indisputable on Google because Google's always right.
Yes, it is.
And it says unable to be challenged or denied. So the idea of...
Exactly.
If you're looking at a video and you're going... All right, there's no way that we can overturn this. Like, I get it if it was called an incomplete pass. Mm-hmm. I totally understand that. Yeah. I mean, then, yeah, you can't overturn it. It's too hard to tell.
Right.
But it was called a fumble. Like, if you have old men at home sitting there going, that's a fumble. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know. I think it's just kind of crazy. But I guess
Ohio against the world, baby.
I know, it's Ohio against the world. And speaking of Ohio and football, the one thing that's different about Jared and I are our pro NFL teams. We're very, very different. Both our teams are absolutely awful. But I'm a Browns fan. Jared is a
Bengals. Who dey, baby?
Yes, he's a Bengals fan, and I am so happy they fired Freddie Kitchens, the Browns. I've said it since the beginning, and I can be on quote saying this.
Joke.
I've been on saying this, that the Browns have the most talent you'll ever see with a very underwhelming coaching staff and general manager. And so I think, Jared, I want your honest opinion, not trying to be biased or anything, but like honest opinion, like you've even said this, that the Browns are very talented.
Yeah, on paper, they're probably...
No, even just not on paper, but like watching the talent of those guys.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, I mean, their coaching sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it did. And I'm a Browns fan saying this.
Because that talent was... Well, you didn't really have an offensive line either.
Yeah, and there's many things to fix. And I think Jared and I both can attest that we've watched enough football to realize that in the NFL... You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have a coach that can rally those guys together, you aren't winning many games.
I will say I did, at the beginning of the year, call that the Browns are going to choke. One of my fantasy football teams was actually called Browns are going to choke.
Speaking of fantasy.
So, yeah, I called it that Browns are going to choke.
Hold up.
Oh, before we get to fantasy football, by the way, Bengals went 2-14. One of those wins was versus the Browns.
Okay, I get it. The Browns are terrible. Bengals are also terrible, but they got to win. Good job. Bravo. Anyways,
Browns
speaking
choked.
of fantasy football, I don't play it anymore. That's just a personal opinion because I don't like it. But, Jared, talk about your fantasy football.
That's the only reason I'm in NFL right now.
Talk about your fantasy football.
I can only be watching NFL because of fantasy football.
Well, yeah, but explain your fantasy football season.
So I had actually 3 teams. First time I've ever done 3 teams this year,
which is ridiculous.
I usually just do 2, but me and my roommate, we decided, well, let's try 3 teams, see how it goes. Because we had our unit team, or I had a unit team, and then I was commissioner for our church league, and then I did a money league where we put $10 in to be on fantasy, 12 teams in that. So I did 3 teams. The church league team and the unit league team.
It sounds like when you say church league team, it sounds like a church league softball team.
Yeah, that's. I realize that. It's called the church league Calvary. It's called the Calvary League. You can call it Calvary League.
My.
And I did those two. Those 2 teams were over 500. We'll just leave it at that. They were over 500. Didn't make the winners bracket.
But I mean. Those ones didn't matter as much as this other one.
This money league, let me tell you, I got 3rd place last year. Really upset because my team was stacked. But this year, oh man, Dalvin Cook, you are amazingly good. I don't care what people say. Dalvin Cook was a clutch pick. I got him in the 2nd round. My team, I was like at one point 8-0 or something like that. Finished 10-3 going in the playoffs, and yeah, your boy won the league.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun, and I'm also sorry for every single person that is not into sports. But again, this is our show.
No.
It's our show.
It's our show, not yours.
Anyways, no, we all love you all. We love you all.
But it's our show, not yours.
We love you all. Anyways, It's great. Fantasy football is great. It's great.
And I had Christian McCaffrey, probably one of the best all-purpose backs of all time. But
this is the thing, though, and I think Jared and I can test. Like the cool thing about doing fantasy football or anything like that is you're like always able to do it with friends. You're able to.
Fun. That's the fun part.
You're able to do stuff like that, and I think one thing you said that's funny. There's a comedian on Instagram, YouTube, Taylor Ransom. If you don't know who he is, the Frick Frack Show is a great podcast to listen to, and it's also he's great on Instagram at Taylor Ransom. But what's really cool about Taylor Ransom is he talks a lot about like youth pastors, and Jared and I have a great youth pastor who hopefully will get on the show one day.
Down to Mac.
Donnie is one of those guys that because Jared said something that was very interesting, talking about church league, but. It's funny how whenever we do something at church, the competitiveness that comes out of church people, it's hilarious because it's the nicest competitive like you'll ever meet. Like when you're at like a school or a secular event, it's always like very aggressive and mean.
Yeah.
But it's funny how when you're at a church event, people are like, oh, good game. It's really awesome. Like it's never, I don't know. I never can get competitive at church because I feel like I'm going to like offend people at church and then they'll get mad at me. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know what your opinion is on church events that involve being competitive.
I like them.
Well, I know you do because you don't really care.
Not really.
I'm just too nice to really care about any of that. I mean, I care about it, but it's just like, I just don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Well, yeah, so are losers,
Anyways, it's fun to talk about, the things that we love. And one thing that I thought was was really interesting that Jared and I talked about, I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago. Jared and I have talked about this before. The idea of the first thing is people asked us why. Well, our mom and dad were talking about like, why are you starting a podcast? And the first reason is I really don't know. But the second thing was like the conversations my brother and I have can be some of the goofiest conversations ever.
Probably.
Mainly because of our father.
Yeah.
And our dad, my brother has a great our dad impression as well as my mom impression. You're great with our mom with the impression.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they're like these impressions, I'm telling you, at dinner make dinner so much better. And I don't know. I think, Jared, you can give them a hint on what it is, but it's great.
Oh, I won't give them a hint. If mom comes on the show, they'll get a hint.
Yeah, and it's funny because I tell people this, like our parents are, okay, to put it this way, our parents are like sometimes, especially our dad, he doesn't really know when he's doing something that's like a little bit off or
funny.
And so that's kind of like where this whole show came from. The idea was like just the things that we hear and see in our own house, not even like in the world, because there's many things we could talk about in this world that are messed up, funny.
Oh yeah.
But it's just like our dad is just, it's hilarious. The things he says.
It is pretty funny.
And the things he does. But with that, I think, Jared, I wanted to ask you a question because it's popped up on my Facebook before. What is your greatest, okay, I'll put it this way. What is the one moment in your life where you were embarrassed the most? And like that can be like with family or just like on your own.
Boy, I'm putting this all out for the world to hear, man. This is all right. There's a couple of these. The most embarrassing, it's a little blurry of when it happened. I think it might have been first or kindergarten, second grade, somewhere around there. We were at school. I believe I was in the computer lab, if I remember right. And I had to go to the restroom. But for some reason, I can't remember exactly why, but for some reason I didn't go to the restroom. And I remember, this is number 2 that I had to go, right?
Oh, number 2?
And
you had to drop a deucer?
And, yeah, and
By the way, that is terrible at school. I hate taking number 2 at school.
And this is when I'm elementary, so I'm not really thinking on my head. My head's on my shoulders,
never really
but it's
thinking. But
my head's on my shoulders, but it really wasn't on my shoulders. Shoulders? Yeah. And next thing you know, I pooped my pants. And
wait, I have never heard this story.
Yeah, and
you
I'm
pooped
pretty
your
sure,
pants
and
in
I'm pretty
school?
I'm pretty sure Mom had to come home and
Our mom was a kindergarten teacher, by the way.
And get me new.
Wait, I have so
pants.
many questions.
I don't really remember.
I have so many. First question.
That's all I can remember.
How did you poop your pants?
I just never went to the restroom.
But
either I asked and they didn't let me, or I just never asked. I can't.
But
really
I don't
remember.
get how.
It was a long time ago.
What?
It was like in first grade.
A second.
Kindergarten.
Third question. Or second question.
Maybe second question.
Because I can't think.
First question. Third question.
First off, how do you get lost in our school? Wasn't that hard?
I didn't get lost.
You didn't get lost. You just kind of.
I just didn't go to the restroom.
Oh my! I'm gonna be honest with all of you. I didn't even remember this story. If you did share it, you might have shared it with me years ago.
I don't think I've shared it with a lot of people.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was
you pooped your pants at school.
Yeah. Then again, I wasn't really embarrassed, but I guess I was.
I would have been super embarrassed. I would have hated that every moment.
Yeah, I don't get embarrassed very easily.
I get embarrassed extremely, mainly because it's just me, and I'm just a
really
goofball.
Embarrassed. Like if they think I'm funny, great.
Okay, I will say this, and it's kind of funny to think about this now.
Yeah.
But I have a similar. I guess mine's not. I guess I didn't poop myself. I probably did at one point. I mean, we all poop ourselves at some point.
Now when we're toddlers.
But I will say my most embarrassing moment. I was probably second grade. I remember this vividly. I don't know why. Like, I don't know if this was my way of trying to attract females. I don't know.
Probably.
I mean, obviously I'm single, so I'm not very good at it. But I remember, I think like I was friends with this girl or I liked her. I don't really know. It was a long time ago. But I grabbed scissors and I cut her hair. Yeah.
I cut my hair once.
Yeah, but I cut who cuts I was so embarrassed.
Maybe at the time you wanted to be a what are the people who cut hairs? What are they called?
What you don't know what they're called?
I don't remember what they're called.
What are they called?
I don't remember.
Barber, like a barber.
Well, yeah, but that's a different type.
What do you mean a different type?
They go to school. There's a
cosmetologist.
Yeah, cosmetologist. That's what they're called.
It's the same thing as a barber. It's just a fancy word.
But yeah, whatever.
But I mean, I cut a girl's hair, and that's probably my most embarrassing moment. I think to this date. There's probably others that other people can probably come on the show and be like, dude, Ben, there's so many other mistakes. I
cut my hair first grade. I remember that.
You cut your hair first grade?
Yeah, in first grade. I cut my hair.
Was it like here at the house?
No, it was at school.
What do you do? Oh, okay.
I took scissors and I saw my hair. I was feeling my hair. I took scissors.
Why do you cut your hair? Why are you?
I think it was up here and I just went and I just saw this hair trickle on the desk and I was like, oh.
So you pooped your pants.
Cut my hair.
You've cut your hair in the same grade.
No, well, I don't remember when I pooped my pants.
But first grade. First grade.
Yeah, that's why I did.
There's a reason why Jared has struggled all these years to maintain himself.
Well,
and okay, I will point this out though. Jared does to maintain himself probably a lot better than most kids. Like Jared is he loves his hair. I have never seen a guy with short hair, just love his hair. So he'll like style a like buzz cut. You gotta add style to yourself, man. You know? I don't get it, but
you gotta add style.
I mean, I'm a stylish guy. Like,
that's a lie.
I feel like Jared wants to laugh, but he just doesn't really care at this point.
Not really, but I want to say you're stylish.
I will say though, my brother is very stylish.
I try to be.
My buddy and I were talking about this tonight.
You know?
My buddy Jordan and I were talking about this. How he admits that me and him both dress like gym teachers half the time. We don't really care how we look. We just kind of go to work the way it is. But you know, I don't know. It's funny. But I will say this. I guess we got to answer some questions. I guess how does this future of this podcast look? I think, I guess because wrapping up this episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of like what we want to do. I mean, we really honestly don't know. Like we're kind of doing this
on the fly.
This is like our first time really doing this. I mean, we did radio, but it's a little different. I've made videos on YouTube, but it's a little different. This is the first time we've actually done something like this, but we're excited. Yeah. It's going to be fun because who knows what we'll think of every episode. But
anything.
If you are listening to this, please let us know. Shoot us an email, shoot us a text, shoot us a Facebook message, Instagram message.
We might have a social media coming up.
We don't know. We're figuring that out as we go.
Page or something.
But we're excited to just have fun, talk about things that mean nothing to most people except us.
Yeah.
And that's just who we are. So
random stuff that we think is funny.
But yeah, we are also gonna, who knows,
we'll try to make you laugh.
Yeah. So a couple things before we go for this episode. One, Jared, why don't you go ahead and hit up your social media for people so they can follow?
Oh goodness. All right.
Or your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever.
Instagram. I if I remember right.
He doesn't really remember.
I don't really
your phone's next to you. You could literally pull it up.
It'll take too long. If I remember, I believe it's speedrocket_21.
He thinks.
No caps.
He really doesn't know.
So if you type that in and it doesn't come up Jared Bowden, don't follow it.
All right. So that's his Instagram.
Something along that lines.
My Instagram is at BigBen_6. That's my Instagram, all lowercase letters. And then my Facebook is Benjamin Bowden. You can go ahead and friend me on there. But then we also, like you said, we're still figuring that out. We might have a social media page just for the show. We're still figuring that out.
Post when episodes come out. Ask you guys questions.
Yeah. So
get with our fans.
Exactly. So we're trying to we're just seeing how this goes, how this floats. And then also myself, I also have a podcast that I've started, and it is called Real Talk with Ben. Or that's the name for right now. Who knows? It could change by the time you listen to this. I don't know. I'm still thinking about that. But basically, my podcast, my personal podcast, is going to be a lot of interviews with a lot of people, just hearing their story, hearing what God's done in their life, and then kind of just what they're doing now. And it could be my old friends, could be old teammates, just really whoever wants to be. I guess it's not really an interview. It's just a talk, conversation. But that is going to be, I guess, the end of this amazing episode. Thank you for listening. It means a lot, even though it is the first episode. And so
these will get more entertaining. We promise.
Yes, they'll try.
It's our first time.
And
give us a break.
Yeah, we also don't know how many a week it will be. It could be 1 to 2, most likely just one.
Probably one. So
tune in for next episode. You'll see it pop up, but tune in for next episode on The Bros Know. See ya.